Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Corinne Bach here with Successful Singers, and we have yet another wonderful interview, this time with Lucas Tannous. He is a speech language pathologist in New York City. Am I right about that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi,
Well,
Corinne.
welcome to Successful Singers. Thank you for being here, Lucas.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks
Yeah.
for having
So we're going to be talking about how to be a successful singer, and the people that I interview all have a different take on it. I asked in the Facebook group, what's your definition of being a successful singer? And everybody has a different answer. It can be from making money, being famous, to having a lifelong career in singing and just getting paid to do it, which is
Mhm.
mine. I have other reasons, other definitions of being a successful singer too, but also fulfillment, personal fulfillment, community fulfillment. There's lots of different reasons, right?
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about that today with Mr. Tannous. Can I call you Lucas?
Of course.
Okay. All right. So first off, I have to ask you a little bit about your background. I'm dying
Sure.
to know. I'm sure everybody else is dying to know a little bit about your education and your background, and why are you here speaking as a speech language pathologist to a bunch of singers, first of all?
Sure. So I started off as an opera singer. That's where my journey to speech pathology began.
Hmm.
I went to Westminster Choir College choir camp when I was 16 years old in Princeton, New Jersey. And I fell in love with the institution. And I had already actually, even before that, I had been studying voice privately rather early in my life because my voice changed, I would say almost prematurely, or and what was borderline abnormal when I was around 11, 12 years old. My didn't really go through the normal cracking process that one does with the voice during puberty. It kind of just shifted in about a month or two. And all of a sudden, I was speaking with my adult male voice and singing with my adult male voice. And I grew up in a
Change.
house, yeah, grew up in a house with lots of opera around me constantly. And I just sort of mimicked and imitated. So I started taking voice lessons kind of early on, loved classical singing and to a degree choral singing. And that's why I went to the choir camp when I was 16. And then I ended up going to Westminster Choir College for my undergraduate degree, Bachelor of Music in Vocal Performance. And then I graduated in the year 2000 and went to the University of Illinois School of Music to also pursue opera. And I graduated with a Master's of Music uh, from University of Illinois. And then I got into the Santa Fe apprentice program in the Santa Fe Opera. And it was there that I was actually hired by a small company, Opera in the Heights, just outside, actually in Houston, outside of downtown Houston. And I started to really kind of cut my teeth there, and also with another other opera groups and companies, sort of in different parts of the states. And through that, I sort of I really had always had a love and a passion for performing, and that allowed me to really kind of get a look at what the career was from a professional standpoint. Um, so then after about 2 years of performing professionally, I decided to go back and get a graduate performance diploma from uh, the Peabody Institute. And so that was third degree. And then I graduated from there in 2006 and then moved to New York. So that was sort of the beginning, all, got those degrees. And it was sort of the beginning of my singing path as a professional opera singer. Um, and then I came to New York and sort of went through um, a bit of a change because I saw that New York and the larger world, like internationally, was a little bit different than what I had been doing because I'd been performing on the local level. And I started studying with a different teacher here in New York. And at the same time, I took a job as an assistant to an artist manager. And that was incredibly insightful because it allowed me to see sort of the inner workings of what it meant to have a professional career on the highest level as an opera singer. And then from there, I actually went and did an audition tour in Europe in 2007, 2008, and then came back. And it was around that time that actually, well, a couple of different things happened. And then I turned 30 and I decided to leave the world of professional singing. And that began sort of this transitionary period basically throughout my 30s. I'm 42 now, where I went to, I was an artist manager. And then from there, I was an ESL teacher. And then that took me to speech language pathology. And I can talk about that more extensively if you'd like in terms of details. But that's sort of the, the short, long version of the transition that took place.
So where did you go to school for speech language pathology?
So I went to Lehman College of the City Universities of New York, the CUNY system, which is actually one of the best university systems out there. And it's an incredible resource, and I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity. The reason that I found out about Lehman specifically is because I was actually teaching there in the Department of Continuing Education as an ESL teacher. And a friend of mine from my undergraduate program at Westminster Choir College, we reconnected, and she had actually made the transition to speech pathology early on and said you might look at that. And as it turned out, Lehman has a wonderful program.
So, awesome.
Yeah.
And then so you got your you'd have to get an undergrad and then go into your grad degree. It's a cohort, right?
So what happened was some credits were transferred. And because I had already had a master's degree, albeit in singing, I was able to do core prerequisites. So I didn't have to do a full undergraduate bachelor's degree program. I was able to take about, I think it was 8 classes. And then I had my interview and I got into the master's program.
That's awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
So you led right into it. And then,
yes.
And then of course, it's all uphill from there, right? Yeah.
Exactly, right.
Speech language pathologist in New York City. It's, you know,